Hello, hello. This thing on? Hello, welcome to Behind the Roleplay. We have a very special guest today. We have Joe, who, which is his, first off, by the way, Shawnee, calm down, all right? You coming in here with this heck you attitude, calm down already, all right? We're just getting started and you're already, anyway, sorry guys, I'm sorry. Yes, Joe, we love you so much. But Jan. Yeah, you're right. You are starting the show. Thank you so much for the tier 1 for 6 months sub. Jesus. Thank you so much, Jan. Today we have Joe, who plays 2 of the biggest characters, I like to think, in the server. He plays LOreal, worth it, and then he also plays Axel, which is a very polar opposites, probably polar opposites characters. I think any character that I've ever seen that is our polar opposites. You have LOreal, which comes in just like a firecracker, and then you have Axel, which comes in very chill, relaxed, and obviously the music on both characters are totally separate. So we're gonna be talking about that. Obviously the change in music, and then obviously we're gonna kind of get into behind the roleplay of both characters. So if you can, make sure to sit back, relax, grab some snacks. And before I do start anything, let me just tell you, every art that is going to be on the screen was made by Pandai Art. If you enjoy and really love this art, which I do, make sure to click that link. And if you would like to commission something, our link is right there. So no further ado, let me go ahead and bring Joe in. Oh God, I'm fucking up. Oh God, I'm messing up everything. Oh God, I'm a first time streamer. Hang on. Oh God. Fucking up everything. There we go. All right. Here we are.
Hello.
There you go.
Whoa, this is guitar.
Yeah.
And LOreal on the shoulders. This is kind of awesome. This is amazing.
Right? It's pretty freaking sick, isn't it? Like, actually is pretty sick. The more I look at it, it's just like,
Got the little jimmies, got the...
Yeah, welcome to Behind the Roleplay.
Well, thank you for... Oh, I'm sorry, I'm kind of obsessed with with everything we got going on here.
It's pretty yeah, this is the the new set, and again, big thank you to Pandai Art for making this amazing new set. And
Legend.
And you're absolute, like, I just love what she did with Axel. Oh, it's so fucking cool. Oh my God, Jesus. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, we're kind of mostly talk about everything behind your roleplay. I know that obviously, Devil on the Shoulder, true. That basically both of your characters are very polar opposites. And so I know that you've had LOreal for quite a bit, but I kind of want to dissect Axel before we do kind of get into LOreal. So with Axel's kind of transition into the city, that was the first time you've ever made Axel, right? Was when you got into Echo, right?
Yes. Well, no. Well, yeah, actually, yeah. So Axel was I want to say like I don't want to say a drunk decision, but it kind of was a drunk decision that kind of blossomed into an actual full-blown character that I regularly like go on as much as LOreal.
So with having that, basically that, I guess she's like drunk decision to do it, were you ever expecting this character to have the attraction that it's basically brought now into the city or into the server?
No, not at all. Because so what's funny is so the first song I did with that. So let me preface this by saying that with LOreal, doing that for a couple years now, it was kind of became my safe my comfortable spot. So one night I found this beat. It was like a Juice World type beat or something. It was like 2 a.m. I cooked up the first Axel track, just kind of playing around. Originally it was to test out a sound for, producing for some, I don't remember which artist it was. But no, I was terrified and I uploaded it that night. And the next morning I just remember waking up and being like, "Oh crap, like why did I do that? What did I do?" Like almost deleted it. Like I'm pretty sure I got to the deleted screen and then I was like, "You know what? No, we'll keep it." And the next few days it kind of did get a lot of a surprising amount of attraction, I feel like, then definitely than compared to what I anticipated.
Well, I feel like with what you brought with Axel and kind of, I guess, obviously, you play both sides of the field, which is kind of, hope it doesn't bring too much meta or too much weirdness into the conversation, but you play both sides of the fence, right? You kind of play the side of, you see the big part of the music scene. Then also you got Axel, which basically like you see the side that, you literally start from the actual bottom, because when you had Axel's first song release, there was no preparation for a song cover. It's literally just, got a picture of Axel with the guitar and then just posted on there. And then you obviously had the side of L'Oreal, which is obviously on Legacy, which has like full on cover for the picture, promotion, promotional stuff, and it's just like,
Mhm.
with having that change, is there a moment where that you drive that to do more, to where you kind of like you get to see that other side of the music scene?
Yes, I would say so. I feel like w- it definitely opened my eyes to a lot of things. With creating L'Oreal tracks, it is very much so. I think with the voice changer and with me trying to present a character a lot more so than Axel, it's can be very limited. At least at the time of when I was going through that phase where I was like, "Oh, I want to sing" or whatever. Um, I don't know. I just think that I'm trying to like word this correctly
Hmm.
here. Oh, I'm sorry. One sec.
This is when Joe starts fully admitting
This
he's
is
working
when.
working on a
Let
track
me.
while doing the interview.
Oh, no, no. See, this is the one time I'm not
Oh, you're
multitasking with
not.
the track. I'm sorry. I think
Okay,
I'm
okay,
just
okay.
network issues. Just I'm head issues.
Right. Oh, Jesus
Um,
Christ.
to wrap up your question, what was the question?
Basically, is that with how obviously L'Oreal is with Legacy and having in that full on professionalism, where it's like you can get the cover art, you got all this promotional stuff kind of going on, and
Okay,
then with
right.
Axel, it's more of like, literally, when if you look back when Axel first put his track out, it was just a picture of him with his guitar, and
Mhm.
it's just put out, and then that was it. Like, it's
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
I think I've grown to be a lot more confident and appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that aspect of Axel. Especially yeah, when it comes to with L'Oreal and Legacy, it's always a big event, and obviously, like we plan and master tracks and plan, and weeks later the song comes out. With Axel, it is. I feel a lot more like intimate with Axel's music. Obviously there's like no voice changer. There's just
Right.
it's a lot closer to Joe, in a way. More vulnerable, but definitely more intimate. And I do appreciate the fact that like I can with Axel, I don't make a big event. I just kind of post it up on SoundCloud and go back to doing L'Oreal's legacy tracks and all that.
Well, so with how obviously, and like you said, the voice changer and having that kind of there, is there a moment where you are a little bit, I wouldn't say scared or worried. I would more of say, like you said, like a security blanket, having that, making a song and not having that voice changer, not having that cover up. Is there a time where you're just like, you kind of wish that Axel had a voice changer, or do you like the fact that you don't have to have a voice
All the
changer?
time. I mean, even it's a lot less these days. I've grown a lot more comfortable. I feel like the community especially has been really receptive and really positive and really like supportive just all throughout. But there are definitely days where I'm like, well, with L'Oreal, it's if you were to, meet me or have a conversation with Joe, you wouldn't really put two and two together. Like that is completely separate. I don't really worry about that in my day to day. Whereas when it comes to Axel stuff, we all feel a little you know, unconfident with ourselves or our vocals or just anything. We all have our days, and
Right.
with that, it can definitely present a little bit of anxiety in that. But all in all, I've grown to really, really love it, and I've kind of grown attached to Axel's sound here that we do.
So I will say though, with I'm glad you mentioned that was because with how Axel's music has kind of transpired, there's been this kind of wave that people are actually kind of getting away from rap music. And do you feel like you've kind of like do you think you've started that kind of your own, I guess, like
I wouldn't say so much. I
boom?
feel like if I were to say that, it'd be a bit disingenuous because so many others before. And okay, sidetrack off of that. I guess this might help. Um, a while back, I don't even remember when, but we were in a conversation with Naldi, and with our homeboy Naldi, we love Naldi,
No, yeah.
but
All DK. I mean what?
so essentially, Naldi K. No, we moved past that. We moved maybe
Or
L'Oreal, maybe, but
maybe,
Maxwell.
maybe not. Yeah.
But so, he had mentioned something, and it kind of really did put it in perspective for me. Was that for me at the time I created Axel, L'Oreal was already, my other character in the music scene was already established. So for me, it was like Axel's one of the, the new things. Nobody really knows Axel, whatever. I think he had said something at one point where he was like, "Oh well, yeah, Axel's like an OG or something." And I remember, I think it was in character, and Sasha and L'Oreal were like, "What? No, he's not." Um, I think when I mean, you've been here since the start with me, right? Since
Yeah.
it was we Legacy Records came up and all that. There
Yeah.
was three people making music in the city, stuff like that. I think I sometimes forget, or it's easy to pass it by, that so much time has passed and so many new artists have joined Echo, and it just has branched so much that I don't know. I just, yeah,
Okay, well, so
it's refreshing.
well, yeah, for sure, right? Because like you said, there was a time where like we wouldn't just legacy, but it was like maybe like three people that would just constantly just do that. They would only they would kind of put um
Mhm.
music out, and it would just kind of be the same people over and over again. Now it's like it's a whole new genre, I guess, of just music and like there's an actual the music scene, I guess you could say, right? It's not just like
Mhm.
three people just doing it.
Mhm.
You actually have different branches and stuff. But so when you are doing Axel, we have a question that is it harder to listen to your own voice than L'Oreal's?
Yes. Oh my god, yeah.
Really?
Well, no, actually, here's my thing. Well, all right, I'm gonna be really, really honest here. All right, that's actually a great question because so with L'Oreal, I feel like when I RP consistently every day with her, and when I'm listening, I'm mixing a track, I'm listening to that thing for hours a
Mhm.
day for a week, 2 weeks, for whatever amount it is. I'll start to kind of relate L'Oreal's voice to mine, and I'll be like, oh, I'll always be like messaging you or Carter or Bonnie or anybody like, hey, does this sound like L'Oreal? Does this sound like Joe with the voice changer? It was like, no, it sounds like L'Oreal. It sounds fine. I think that's my one issue or my one challenge with L'Oreal is I just listened to it for so long that I relate it to my own voice. But with Axel's, it kind of goes back to the vulnerability thing. I never once imagined that I would be putting myself out there like that. There was no like plan. There was no big like, oh, I can sing. I'm gonna do this. It was a drunk moment. And since then I was like, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna teach myself how to sing, and I'm gonna document the progress, whether there is or isn't, through this character. And I pretty much I don't delete tracks. I mean, I'll go back and listen to FU or Spiraling Down. I'm like, oh my god, like the vocals are trash. But at the end of the day, my whole kind of mission with this character was to document um challenge and change, and just kind of the experience from start.
I mean, for sure, right? Because and we've again, like there was times where you like have a L'Oreal track or something sort of like that, and you do all this planning, all this, getting ready, but then it's like on Axel, you're just like, oh, yeah, I'm just gonna release a song, and it's just kind of like you're just putting it out there. Is there a moment where you want to start doing big plans with Axel, kind of releasing music, or is it kind of just you prefer that kind of like, oh, it's done, I'm just gonna put it out, no big deal, anything like that?
Sometimes it's definitely propped up or popped up a bunch of times since Axel's become more active, I would say.
Hmm.
There's quite a few people who would approach Axel and be like, "Oh, you're the legacy artist," or so. Sometimes I'm like, "Oh, I may as well." I mean, I'm sure like it's it's whatever. I'm sure Axel would get approved to be in legacy, but I don't know. At the same time, I don't think I'm scared of going that direction with Axel because right now it kind of flipped, and now Axel is more of my comfort spot where I can just do things low key, and if people enjoy it, they enjoy it. Um, if not, it's at the end of the day, a lot of it is practice for like mixing and
Yeah.
production. And I have fun with it.
Well, you're kind of going a new direction with Axel now. Not to try and like say stuff, but I kind of got a little glimpse of
Mm.
something. So, is are you leaving Axel kind of with that sad boy kind of tone that you had before and kind of going somewhere else, or do you think you're kind of still keeping that tone where you started out him with?
I'm gonna be honest, I have no plans or direction with I just kind of take Axel wherever Axel goes. A lot of the times it's just I pull up YouTube or something, or I pull up BeatStars. I don't know. I hear a beat that's completely, newer. Or I just hear something inspiring, really. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try something with this. Do some vocal, record some things. I'm like, okay, all right, I like this. I will say about like more than half of the songs I start as Axel, I lose interest, or I'm like, oh no, that's not it. We scrap them. I know a lot of the people who do get to hear these in the progress get mad at me for that, but yeah.
Well, so even when you're kind of having that, I guess you say like security blanket, having that kind of like, okay, I'm gonna make something, I'm gonna show somebody this, and even if they still love it, like obviously you still have that kind of like, okay, I'm not gonna put this out, like 100, like, but is there a moment where you do that to where you is there ever is there unknown tracks that we haven't seen of Axel that you kind of haven't like put out yet, or is it pretty much all
So
like
many.
really?
There are more Axel tracks that haven't been released than there are that have been released. See, but the thing is, I think, and I'm honestly personally not bothered by that because my whole perspective of that, it kind of does tie into the whole progress and learning thing. Is before spiraling down, that recording session was pretty much my first time like recording myself and trying to mix it and just anything in general. Because I before that I was just whatever. But
Yeah.
I just think I don't know, like, oh, I'm sorry. I guess I don't know if that answers your
I mean,
question, but
yeah, 100%, right?
kind of.
Because yeah. Well, so with kind of how you've had L'Oreal kind of, I guess, in a back burner, kind of going into L'Oreal's kind of like headspace with music and everything. If we want a little bit of backstory, you and Bonnie, or she plays Sasha, you played in a server before you got here, and there was already music chemistry with y'all, and y'all have already kind of built this, rapport of both y'all kind of working together.
Mhm.
um with kind of how leaving that to come here, uh was there a moment where you're like, I'm just gonna RP and not do music, or was it kind of like, or we're just gonna try and dabble in music a little bit still, because you've already done so much with that, right? Like I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure that there has to be like, there's a feeling of like, okay, like we had to like kind of just take a little breather, because their music RP does take a lot of OC time that people don't ever realize.
I will say, before Echo, L'Oreal was pretty almost non-existent. It was a character that I was just getting kind of like for months at a time with three different servers before then, where I'd hop on his L'Oreal for a couple hours a day for a few weeks and then kind of move on. Echo was where the first time that I really did settle down and create something that was more than just a funny character. And as far as with Sasha goes, yeah, that was good friend Rita. I don't even remember what character of hers it was right now. It was like either her character Rita or her character Lauren. It was probably, she'll probably correct me in the chat, but essentially, yeah, she had hit me up or hit L'Oreal up one day and was like, "Hey, I have this person who's a rapper and she's great, and her name's Sasha and all that." And we made a track together called Pony. We did a couple here and there, and this was on that last city. But other than that, it was pretty much, it was like I'd show up for a day and then 2 months later show up for a day. I think what really did draw me into RP, what really draw me into this character and draw me into music at the beginning of me getting into Echo, was initially the release of Sasha's album. I believe it was Villain. Saw that. I remember hitting her up like, "Hey, oh my god, I didn't know you still did music. This is crazy. I love this." And applied for Echo. Got an Echo, and then my first day in the city, L'Oreal meets Jimmy, talks with him for a
That was
few
your
hours.
first. That was your first
Doesn't even.
time. Was that your first time in
That
the
was
city?
it. That was
What
it.
the fuck?
We
Talk
we
about
went on. I don't even remember. Was it Chi Chi? I don't remember who it was who took the jet or whatever to like the island or something. We got lost, and somehow Jimmy and L'Oreal ended up together.
in a Jeep. Yeah.
Talked for like an hour or 2 hours before realizing, oh wait, you're the person I've heard so much about.
Yeah,
Like, oh
yeah.
shoot.
Sasha came in and was just like, yeah, like my best friend, like L'Oreal. She mixes tracks, like you'll love her, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And then it was just like get in a track, get on the Jeep, and it's like, yeah, sure. It's like get on the Jeep. They start riding around, like I said, for an hour or so, and then it was just like you start talking a little bit, and you brought. So I was like, oh, wait, you're L'Oreal, and it was just like we said fuck everybody else, and we literally spent the whole time just driving around talking about music, and it was just like the funniest fucking thing. Everybody's like, where's everybody go, where's everyone went, and it was just like we're just over here just chill, like driving around in circles, literally just talking about music. But so there is something I kind of want to ask you about L'Oreal that I feel like a lot of people never really noticed, because I'm gonna be honest with you. There's been times where the people I've talked to OC, and they bring up L'Oreal about how well you do her voice. Like they literally don't know that it's a voice changer. Like, is there any preparation you do for how you get into character L'Oreal? Because I'm telling you, OC wise, people literally think that you're just a female playing a female. Like,
Oh yeah, every time we especially with like I recently, because I know I haven't been as active, but like when I would, L'Oreal would meet a new artist in the city or something, we would get in, do a little studio OOC little studio session or something, where I'd finally get to talk to them, and they're like, wait, hold up, who is this? All the time. There's no I mean, at this point I've been playing, I mean, L'Oreal's voice way back when was
the
a
chickmunk.
lot. It was like chipmunky. Yep. It was really over the top and whatever. I think it's just I've been doing it for so long. It's kind of like second nature. I feel like L'Oreal's at this point personality like bleeds into OOC Joseph.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which so sometimes we, that energy kind of gets, passed through. Sometimes I'm feeling a little feisty. I'm like, all right, well, gotta go RP.
All right, so
Let it
okay,
all
so
out.
all right, let it all out. Okay.
I will say L'Oreal's, to be honest, a lot easier for me to RP and play than Axel is. With
Well,
Axel
okay,
to
but
this day,
how?
I'm still.
Okay, but okay, so I will say, for me personally, that's how I felt with Kree. Like with Kree, it felt very like I don't know how to explain it. Like I feel like I wasn't really afraid of like putting out the character. It was more of like I don't know how to explain. Like I guess it was just new. Like how was it for you? Like
I think, I don't know. I'm just not very confident with my. I don't want to say not very confident, but like at the same, it's just when it comes to RP, I don't know. I think I'm still figuring out Axel because before Axel, I had L'Oreal, and before L'Oreal, it was just L'Oreal. Like, um, so even months later, I think it's a lot easier now for me to jump in, but sometimes with Axel, I need to, snap back into it. Like, oh crap, wait, no, I need to be Axel right now.
Yeah.
It's also with L'Oreal with the voice changer on, I can hear it through my headphones when it's going on. So it's, I think with I don't know, just with all the hours put into being L'Oreal, it's just so much easier to snap into it. I mean, especially after a shot or two, then you guys really get L'Oreal then.
Oh no, no, it's not that. It's when you get edibles and you start munching on them, and then it goes,
Mm.
"Oh, oh, I forgot. Oh, I forgot." I was like, "Wait, what? We just talked about. How could you
You
forget about it?"
you
It's like,
know what is so funny is like that's not even it. I wanna say, like, at least half of the time, that's not even a character little quirk. That's actually me
it's
genuinely
not
being like,
even a
"Wait, what's
quirk.
going on?
It's
Wait, what's this person's name
oh
again?"
my god. Wow, that's not even a character quirk. It's just damn. All right. So with kind of obviously we've talked about how, you know, L'Oreal is basically in your blanket and how Axel is still fresh, but it is still refreshing to kind of like have Axel. Is there any times where you kind of wanting story driven with Axel, or is it kind of just like you kind of like where it's at right now, where it's like, you know, you come in as Axel, talk to some people here and there, and then obviously get on L'Oreal and you again have meetings and stuff like that. But is there any times that you would want that story to kind of understand Axel a bit more, or do you kind of like want to go at your own pace, kind of whenever you like have a chance to play as him?
I hmm. So, I've been definitely thinking about that. So with Axel, I've been trying, to fly in as Axel and play this character and develop that story a lot more than I used to, especially since he's become so well established in the city now.
A lot quicker though, I will
Um,
say, than any other character. I will also say,
oh,
like any other character that's kind of starting out music, you literally put out a song on Axel, and immediately people were just like, "Yes,
I
I want
I'm gonna
this."
be vulnerable for a second. I think it was one of the first few nights that basically within the first few days of Axel's first track, Spiraling Dawn, coming out, right?
Mhm.
Um, one day it just all of a sudden, I don't know if people were playing it. I think people were playing it at like one of the mech shops. I don't know. It just blew up one day, right? I don't want to say blew up, but in my case, I remember waking up. It was like pretty late at night, checking my Discord, had a bunch of notifications, right? I mean, it was like a handful of people. And it was essentially, people would DM me saying like, oh, this song like spoke to me, and this I can relate to the struggle I can hear, or something like I really needed to hear this right now, or stuff like that, where I literally like cried that night. I was like, oh my god, this is not what I thought would happen. It was so unexpected. I was like, oh my god, no, wait, people are listening to this, and at the same time, like, oh,
Well, I think
um,
to be fair, I think it's just that like it was such a different like a different emotion, you know, because a lot of times for me personally, and I've said this multiple times, for me, how I have Jimmy to make music is if I'm sad, like if I'm like not having a
mhm.
good day, it's easier. And a lot of that's just mostly, you know, OOC sadness, you know, but when having a character that makes in character sad music, and if they come in right, and again they have no story, they have, you know, this is brand spanking new, just came out the plane, right, and come in and you just make this sad boy just aesthetics music, and it's amazing, it's right on cue, and it goes with that aesthetic. It's like it's gonna, I think for sure it's gonna have that feel of like, okay, this character like has trauma and has emotion that hasn't been brought up yet. That's how I look at it. And I may be reaching, but like if you think about it, right, is that this person who came up playing, right, and can immediately
Mhm.
make this kind of emotional, because there's been times where I listen to Axel's music and also like some Sasha's, and like there's some like, you know, when just sad songs, I'm just like, fuck, you know, it's like it's just the emotion that's kind of grabbed to it. Was that your full attention, was like to have a character that may have this type of emotion, or was it kind of just like I just kind of want to do some sad boy stuff?
I'm gonna be honest with the first Axel track. I don't even remember how I ended up with that. So that was, I do recall. I mean, that was definitely like some Juice World type beat I happened to come across. Um, One thing is, at the time knew a couple of Juice World songs. Didn't really listen to to them too much. So I think, I mean, if you even going back to a lot of Axel tracks, I feel like I'm trying to word this correctly. So with L'Oreal,
Hmm.
obviously more recently and whatever, like her flow and her demeanor and all that, it's like, Nicki, Megan Thee Stallion, that stuff. I do listen to that all OC and I love it. And, I have with it. But with Axel, a lot of the genres that he presents isn't really something I listen to. It's just so out of my my norm.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I, um,
Well,
I mean, that's pretty much.
so I will say there's this thing that I've always kind of, well, I wouldn't say live by, but I've always kind of keep in the back of my head that, when making music, it's always what is it, how they word it? It's like you don't make music what you like, but you make music uh like you just make music or something like that, or something of sorts like that, right? Like you like with Axel, you make music you don't really like like constantly kind of like maybe a little bit listen to, but then with L'Oreal's type of stuff, you don't always listen to it, but it's kind of just there, right? Like, no,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe.
At least pretty much, yeah. At least with L'Oreal, I can, if I need to hype myself up for. I mean, at the time, of course, like
Hype is an understatement, by the
L'Oreal's.
way. That's an understatement. Let me just tell you, hype. When L'Oreal comes in with a song, it's like I'm right here.
Oh,
Like do like so. How do you? Okay, so that's my question, right? Is how do you get hyped for a song? Like obviously with L'Oreal's type of flow and stuff is so punchy and upbeat and everything like that. Like, is there a moment where you kind of think, okay, I was gonna kind of get like kind of like a groove kind of going on with it,
mhm.
or do you just kind of go right in and just kind of see what sticks?
It all starts with if there's a beat that I really, really, I just love. It usually just comes, and I think with either character for me, um, I'm trying to. Writing lyrics is such, I mean, if you do music, or anybody who does write lyrics understands, like, writing lyrics is so damn hard. Like, I'm not trying to, like, because first of all, that's why with Axel, there's all like the lyrics, I mean, some of them have like a deep hidden meaning and metaphors and stuff. But a lot of times, I mean, people message me be like, oh, what does Axel say here? I don't understand what Axel's saying. I'm like, well, at first I was like, I don't know, but then after that, I kind of incorporated it into his music, where it's like, yeah, well, I mean, it's a lot of sampled, and I can be a lot more lenient with Axel's lyrics.
Right.
But as far as L'Oreal goes, I just find the beat, or I mean, a lot of times with L'Oreal recently, I found what helps is I'll just play some like Megan Thee Stallion freestyles and just blast that like all day while I'm working, and then by the time I'm off of work, I'm like, I'm ready to write. I'm ready to go in on a beat.
Damn. Okay, so you kind of do use that, that her kind of music to kind of like motivate your way into kind of getting L'Oreal's kind of
Mhm.
mindset for music.
Mhm. Or sometimes it's from our, like, other artists. Sometimes Sasha will give me a beat, or something, another artist, or within Echo will show me what they're working on. I'm like, oh my god, this has inspired me. Like, I know Carter's cooking something up. It's very, very different and very. It's like 10 levels higher than anything he's ever done, is as much as I'll say about it.
Oh
And that
Jesus.
that night when I listened to it, I was like, I'm inspired. Like, now, like, I need to do, triple time on L'Oreal. I need to go faster. I need to, say this and that. And it's, you're an artist. You understand. It's either an external source that gets you in the mood to be able to be motivated to write or to record, or it's each other. Because a lot of this, and what makes the music community and Echo work, is that there's so many of us who are supporting each other and who are, either giving tips or showing up for events or just showing just love in general. Um, that I think we all, it's a snowball effect. Everybody in this community kind of pushed each other, and now there's like so many of us. It's amazing.
True. I mean, there's been times when I made Jimmy's She a Little Freaky. I think it took me like 2 months just to get fully done with it. And there was a time where I hit you up. I was like, Joe, like what? Like, I don't know what to do with this part of the song. And all you said was just whisper the lyrics. I'm like, what? I was like, that sounds so simple, but like that it can't be. And it was a perfect fit. It fit with like the rhythm of it and everything. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I mean, that's fairly easy. Okay,
Mhm.
and it's just like, yeah, if there's ever a time where I'm doing a song, or like I say, if anybody else is doing a song, like if we're chilling in voice chat, like, hey, could you like tell me what you think about this? Like, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm stubborn or not, or anything like that, and um, I don't know. It's comparing when music scene was just kind of like a little baby compared to now. It's like you said, it's such a it's a crazy part to kind of like to be in, I guess. It's like
Mhm.
you can have Shane, which is doing like I don't know what genre it's like heavy metal, right? Or just metal, or
I remember, oh my god, he months and months and months ago, um, uh, we had realized that we knew each other from way back, like 3 cities ago or something. And we were talking about music, and he had kind of brought it up. I'm sorry, Shane, if you're watching, I don't mean to spill any tea here, but like he had kind of mentioned doing something, and then we were like, he was showing me tracks, and I was like, oh, this is metal, and I feel like you and a lot of other of the artists that have been here from the start and knew what it was like when there wasn't as much variety, I guess. How much I was just like, yes, you need to do this. Like, and if you and I say this everybody's like, if you record something and you're not confident with it, like please send the stems my way. I guarantee you, the next day you're gonna love it, whatever. Unfortunately he didn't let me, I haven't yet to work on
Joe,
his
we have
vocal.
to talk about this. I'm gonna go ahead and we're here. Joe, you have to limit
Well,
yourself, all right? Because
yeah, but
if you don't
it's
limit
hard.
yourself, you're gonna have a
It's so hard.
I know it's cool to see people succeed and stuff, but you gotta calm down. Take a breather, take a chill pill. Relax. We're worried about
Right,
you.
but it's I will say, especially as, I mean, RP term we use is producer because most people don't
Yeah, it's like
know what an audio engineer is.
it's vocal
But
producing, but
vocal
it's still
produ
kind of
right, right. So, I think especially being in that position and working with so many Echo and then also, some OOC artists and stuff, like, when there's something that's new and fresh, I'm like, "I need to jump on this." Like, "Oh, I wanna try working with this," because I think a lot of people who know L'Oreal don't, obviously I can't say this in character, but L'Oreal came into Legacy like, I'm a producer, I've been doing this for 10 years and this and that. But in reality, I had messed with like some BandLab type of crap. Like I was still on Reaper, but I was at very, very basics. So then once L'Oreal came in, I came into Echo and I was like, oh my God, like this person wants me to, I think it was like my first week before L'Oreal had even joined Legacy. Jimmy had told Emma to, send L'Oreal a text or something and say, "Hey, can you mix my vocals?" And at that point, I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'm sold. Like, I need to learn." So I think I don't know, to kind of segue from that a little bit, I may add, is that the same way with I do with Echo, where the plan kind of is to show progress and show people who aren't as confident that there's a learning curve and there's always improvement and et cetera, et cetera. If you go back and we can go back and sometimes we'll go back and listen to old legacy tracks and stuff that I mean, a large portion of course, is the vocal production was done by me. The progress is definitely, it's something I enjoy to go back and listen to. And it's also, I feel like it's a great feeling when people can also, like, new people will go back and shout out a super old track that I can sometimes, like, I'll go back one day and be like, "Oh, this track that, came out last year, the mixing is terrible," because I didn't know as much as I do now, of course.
Mhm.
But then, a couple weeks later, somebody who's completely new to the city be like, "Hey, I love this song." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, all right." Try not to be too hard. And I think that goes for anybody. You do any type of art. I mean, really, just it's in human nature in general. I mean, sometimes we're our biggest critics,
100%.
but
Oh yeah. But see, and I even bring this up too. Like I don't know if you remember or not, but when Will, aka Carter, when when we were start really getting into music, we were all like, "You should sing. You should sing on the track." And he was just like, "No, I'm never gonna sing. I'm never gonna do it. Like that's never gonna be me." Fast forward to now, like we finally got him to fucking sing on a song. Like actually, two songs, technically speaking, right?
I okay.
Technically,
So
maybe. Yeah.
yeah, it's it's been a couple. I can't
Yeah.
even count. Like it's been a good handful. I
Yeah.
will say, for people like within Legacy, or people who have like heard these tracks or whatever, I will always say, and I say this so often, is how amazed I am at Carter, at everybody's, but with this specific, like Carter's progress with how he's evolved is honestly just extraordinary. Like I have so much respect for that. Just both, and not even in just being comfortable enough to start like singing and go into those softer genres, but also like at the same time I feel like him venturing into that has improved his lyricism a lot, and is when he does go back to doing like an aggressive verse or something like that, he'll come back and he comes back 10 times, with 10 times more energy. And I'm like, wow. Like
Mhm.
every time I think that an artist that especially if it's an artist that I've worked with for months, or over a year now, so some of them, I always feel like, okay, we've hit our limit. Like, this is amazing. This is it. And then a few weeks later, they'll hit me up with like some stems or, some raw vocals. And I'm like, how are you still improving? Like, this is ridiculous.
And I think that that's something that, and like like you said, we're worst our own worst critic. But I think that even with how critic a lot of people are to themselves and stuff like that, like I think that with every artist, I mean, even going from when I listen back to older stuff from people in general, like it's like, damn, like where well, how did this happen? And it's like you listen to old tracks, then go now, it's like the journey of just like, because like we've said multiple times that music is a lot of OOC work being put into it, and just like it's all OOC work, but obviously have to do it like in character, something like just put your characters like emotions into it. But like the thing that really gets me all the time is that it's like, even though you're putting your characters, emotions into it, OOC, like those traits of you like learning how to do it are still going to be there, right? So like, and I'm not saying like, to make a RP music to immediately become an artist. Not true, but I will say
Mhm.
the process gets a lot easier, and that mindset of like where you want to take this, right? Take this journey, like where you want to take it and where it may go. Like for you, for example, with how you had L'Oreal and now you have Axel, you have two music characters who have polar opposites music themes, and it's just like you're learning both sides. And I think that a lot of people are I like to think people are probably pretty motivated by like they see what you're doing, they're like, I want to try that, and they kind of dabble in it. And I've gotten a couple messages from people just being like, they'll see the music that's kind of being made in the city and they're just like, can you help me write? I'm like, I'm not the guy at writing, but I can help you my process, and it's just like it's just pretty cool to see that, you made out put music
Mhm.
out and people are just like, I want to jump on this too. Um so I do want to kind of with us kind of like closing a little bit, because like, yeah, we do have got Naughty's events is happening in an hour, right? I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
8:30.
Yeah, something like that. But so with us kind of closing a little bit, I do want to open the floor. If anybody in chat wants to ask Joe any questions,
Ooh,
go
tea
ahead. And
time.
yeah, so if you want to ask any questions, go ahead. But what I kind of want to ask though is that with how L'Oreal's music is and how Axel's music is, I know this is gonna be a probably a no, but could we see a crossover with those characters that wouldn't be released? Well, not that wouldn't be released obviously in character, but it'd be really, it'd be shown OOC. But would you ever be like? Have you ever thought about doing that?
I get it's so funny because I don't know why, but I get asked that so many times.
You really? You
Are we
actually?
going to see L'Oreal featuring Axel or so? I'm like, I I'm not completely closed off to the idea, but I feel like while I'm mixing it, working on both vocals at the same time, I would feel weird about it.
I think it'd be very. I would
But it's
100% like agree with that, right?
it's definitely it's not off the table. I will say.
But how? Gee, that'd be crazy though, wouldn't it? Like having like two
I just
characters like that.
I think another hurdle with that would be L'Oreal's, when I'm having fun and I'm energetic and stuff, and I feel like Axel making music as Axel is a lot more personal and intimate in a way. Um I would just I don't know how I would get them on a track together. Like
You would have to record like if you want to get L'Oreal's part, like be all hyped up, record L'Oreal's parts first, and then probably give it a day or so, and then come back as Axel and just like
mm,
have that like very like slow feel. I honestly, the more I think about it, I don't think that could
definitely
happen
interesting.
because L'Oreal's is very like it's a firecracker, and there's no way of that. Mm. Still a pretty cool like little
I
idea to
guess
kind of
we'll
have
have
to
to see and
wait and
find out.
see. Jesus. Shiny says no question here to tell Joe he need smiley face.
Oh my god, I love you so much, Sean. You're amazing.
But again, thank you though so much for coming on here and just kind of chilling and talking about your role play and behind your role play. Oh, I do actually kind of want to ask one question though before we do end. So you played two. Has L'Oreal killed somebody? I think L'Oreal had to
Oh
kill
my
somebody,
god.
right? L'Oreal had to, right? Like being
Oh,
ignored. Oh, disco track. Oh,
okay.
well,
I'm getting
Jan,
technically speaking.
technically speaking, Emma and Jimmy are making a disco track called Nightlife. Te-
Would 1 in a million be considered disco?
no, what the? No,
No, that's like
no.
no, no. I don't. I'm okay, Jen. What I will say with L'Oreal, maybe that's out of her normal,
I think,
but maybe maybe
yeah, I
with
think
Axel, very likely not because I had already attempted that and written recorded something similar to that a while back, and I just didn't really it didn't work out. So,
mm, mm. But yeah, I got Jimmy and Emma doing like some of a disco track, but yeah,
mhm.
I would like to. I think L'Oreal would be pretty sick making like a disco track, having her like say something in the background
We
or
had I think L'Oreal and Jimmy at one point had a beat they were gonna use that was very disco-y, right? A
the f-
while back,
the
maybe a
fuck
couple months back.
beat was that? Oh,
I don't know.
it was yeah, you didn't even yeah, you fucking left me on red with it. Fuck.
I left you what? No, I left
It was beast mode. That's what it was. And you what
Oh, you know what though? And I'm gonna say this in the podcast
oh
here.
my god.
I owe like 12 verses across both characters right now. So sorry if I ever ghost your tracks.
Ghosted hard. And I thought
There's
it
a
was
lot going
cool.
on.
It sounded cool. Fuck.
I'm sure it was amazing. In fact, now that we bring it up, maybe after this podcast,
Oh my god. No, because you got the naughty
I'm
event. And that's gonna fucking oh my god. It's gonna be good though. It's gonna be a good time. I do want
mm,
another L'Oreal and Jimmy track though. I think it's
oh
long
yeah,
overdue. Like
oh yeah.
to this day, I'm
I feel like both.
still Flow has been
Mhm.
fucking amazing though. Like when I still listen to it back, I'm like Jesus, dude. That's
I go stupid. I go psycho.
how long did it take us to make that? Like a week or 2 weeks?
Couple of days. It
Uh,
took like maybe a week. Maybe
yeah.
a week. Yeah.
Oh, I tell, and that's another thing too. I tell people, and you could definitely testify with this. Is like sometimes music takes like 3 months. Sometimes a song takes a week. Like every time, almost every time when Jimmy and Carter make a song, it's like a week or so. And same with Jimmy and Lori. So it like depends on the
Mhm.
person that you're making it with. And like that's why I've said this multiple times too. I'm a feature bitch. I love features because like that's half the work I ain't gotta do, you know?
That's me with L'Oreal, right?
Because like
I'll like start a L'Oreal track, and then I will get like one verse done, and then I'll like either send it to Sasha or Carter or you, and I'll be like, just like, you want to do something on I
it's
got
like
my verse out.
it's like that meme of that kid with a stick, and it's like it's poking at a song. It's like do something. Have you seen that meme? Probably not. I could send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah, please do.
Yeah. Now just never releasing music. I need more disco from everybody else. I'll sneak a poster from this for everyone. All right. I mean, like I said, I hope so. I hope Emma doesn't forget about it. I don't think so, but got like a nightlife track of her. Like, is she doing an EP or is just like a album? I don't know. There's so many moving parts. You never really
No,
know.
Emma.
Yeah, I think she's
Um,
doing an EP, right?
Soon TM.
Soon TM.
Maybe it's a little, a little project coming up. Maybe.
Little project. Oh shit.
Don't kill me, Emma. Please don't kill me.
But yeah, I think this will be a good place to kind of don't worry, I'll get Los Muse's career King of Disco.
Yes, please. I would mix that.
Fine. It'll just be snorting.
Snorting.
It'll just be snorting.
Maybe a little.
Oh jeez, there's still snot at where you get your paychecks. I was like, because I asked Shawnee if that was her putting the snot, and it's still there. Jesus.
Oh my God, Jack, I love you.
Oh, so before I forget, while every guest that we've had on here, about the D of Joe just clips of me starting my mic. Oh Jesus, I feel like Joe could probably make that sound amazing.
L'Oreal. I mean, L'Oreal can make anything sound good.
Oh, true.
I'm kidding. It's just that.
So
people will come at me.
Oh my God. So so every time that we bring on a guest, we get them to pick out who should we raid. So on the live now, who do you think we should raid?
Ooh, let me pull it up and go through who I don't like.
What the fuck?
I'm kidding. I love everybody. I'm kidding.
Oh my God. A drama.
Let me get a good look over here. Ooh. How long's it been since you've raided Shane? Have you ever raided Shane?
Yeah, I've raided him a few times. You raid him real quick.
What does chat think?
I usually ask the get. Oh God, what the fuck is going on?
Okay, you know what? Yeah, chat. It's not your decision, chat. Mind your business.
Jesus. So aggressive. All right. Oh my God, I love you, Joe. You're just so talented. True. I'm gonna go be sad now. I don't have talent. Joe's showing us all up. Oh my God, Joe, how dare you?
That's Cab. That's Cab.
Oh my God. Again, chat, thank you so much for coming by, hanging out, listening to Behind the Roleplay. And thank you again so much, Joe, for coming on and just talking about Behind the Roleplay, about your characters. One last question though. Would you ever make either a crim or a cop? Would you ever make one of those type of characters?
Maybe a crim, but it would have to be like a fuck up crim.
A fuck up crim? Okay.
I can't handle the pressure of like doing all of that. Cop, definitely never. That's I would probably get banned from the server within a week.
Jesus. Just roll up with somebody being toxic, just shoot him in the head and just walk off.
I mean, maybe not on purpose. Maybe just like, oops. Oh no, because you know how L'Oreal set fire to Louis and Jan.
Oh my God.
I felt so bad.
Oh Jesus Christ.
That was a great grand opening though.
Oh, I do want to try something out though. Hang on. So I'm gonna thank Jan for this. Oh yeah, that goes a 6-month resub. There we go. Hell yeah. And then also want to thank wait for it to go. Trying something out. I got like a TV screen that can like show like stuff. There you go. Boom. Thank you so much, It's Will, for resubscribing for 28 months. There we go. See the production value. Look at that. I'm never letting you live that down. Yeah, I still can't believe you did that.
It I just wanna okay, let me put it since we're being honest, that was not a, "Oops, quirky RP" moment, that was me genuinely, like,
Oops, quirky.
trying to do something. I was trying to, like, pick up a boombox or something.
That wasn't an
That
oops,
was,
quirky
like
moment.
it wasn't like a, "Oh, L'Oreal" moment, no, it was I felt so bad. I remember when the fire just spread instantly, my jaw hit the desk. Like, I was like, "Oh, crap." I was like,
Yeah,
"This is it. This
I
is gonna be
think
the day I get perma'd."
I think people saw Jan just sitting there, and it was just like that.
It's
It's
just
fine meme, and it's like on fire. Just oh my god,
yeah, it's like, "I'm gonna eat my meal."
I'm gonna eat my meal. Oh my god, I got stuck to the fucking chair. Damn,
Mhm.
damn, sucks to sucked on it. Dang, dude. All right, well, we're gonna raid Bash and Skulls again. Thank you so much, chat, for coming around, hanging out. Thank you again so much, Joe, for coming on here and talking about behind
Thank
the
you for
role
having
play.
me.
Problem.
So fun.
Start this raid.
Bye, chat.
I think I'm gonna stream a Naldi event. I think I'm gonna try. My PC doesn't have a heart attack, but we'll see. All right, chat. I'll see y'all around. See ya.
Bye.
Rated. Uh oh.